and welcome. My name is Larissa and I'm a nerdy freelance artist who loves Disney and drinks a lot of tea, which brings me to today's tea vlog. Over the July 4th weekend, I saw that the Republic of Tea was offering a sale, and since we happened to be low on a couple of our favorites from there, I decided to place a small order. I think it was like buy 3 get 1 free or something like that. I don't really remember the specifics. I was planning on placing an order fairly soon anyway, but when I saw that they were having a sale, it just made sense to go ahead and take advantage of the offer. So it was a little impromptu, and I sort of filled it out fairly quickly and placed the order, and then I didn't really think about it because, like I said, we weren't out of any of the ones that we were ordering, and they weren't like the ones that we were having like every single day and we were on a big kick on or anything. So I didn't really have it percolating in the front of my brain for a while. So when the box showed up with our mail, I was pretty excited. It was like a little bit of a surprise almost. I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, but I'd almost kind of forgotten about it as well. So I was pretty excited to open it up. So I pulled out the first tea, which is the Blackberry Sage, which is one that we really enjoy. It's a nice light one. It's not a super strong flavor that it can fight with different foods or whatever. So it's a nice one to have around, but it's also not one of our favorites because it's not the most distinctive of flavor, if any of that makes any sense. But we do enjoy it. We liked it. We were running low, so we placed an order for one of these. But then things started to seem just a little bit off when I pulled out this Earl Greyer Vanilla. Personally, not a huge Earl Grey fan. My husband enjoys it, but we don't go through a ton of it since he's the only one that drinks it, so it seemed kind of odd to have placed this order. Then I pulled out Cinnamon Plum. Interesting, because one of our favorite teas right now is a cinnamon tea, but it's not this one. So I was feeling a little weird, like it was strange because it seemed somewhat familiar, but not exactly what I was expecting. And then I came to a refill pack of Carbonate Creme Brulee, which was interesting for a couple of reasons. For one, I did not remember ordering this tea at all. For another, it's a refill pack of a tea that I don't think I've ever purchased, so I don't know why I would have ordered the refill package. So at this point, it's pretty clear something is wrong. A lot of these teas were similar to what I was expecting, but not exactly the same, so it was like this weird sort of deja vu happening at first. At this point it was clear something was up, so I glanced at the invoice and it listed all the teas that had been in the box, so that was weird. So then I pulled up my order on my email and that showed teas that I definitely thought looked familiar, so I was a little confused, and then I checked the invoice and sure enough, the teas listed on that were the ones in the box, but it was not my name and address at the top of the invoice. The box obviously had my name and info because it had shown up at my stoop, but the invoice was for somebody else's order in Tennessee. Since this had all happened outside of regular business hours, I figured, you know what, I'm going to just email the Republic of Tea and let them know that there was an oops. And then if they didn't get back to me automatically over the next morning, then I would try and call on a weekday during regular business hours and hope I wouldn't be on hold forever. But thankfully, they were on the ball, and early the next morning, I had an email that was very apologetic. They said, hey, we're so sorry about that. Go ahead and keep those teas, and they told me that they were shipping out an order with my teas that I had actually ordered. So, hey, free tea. It was kind of interesting because they were all teas fairly similar to ones that I have and will and do order anyway, but not exactly the ones that I may have chosen for myself. So this is a really interesting way for me to try some new teas. And now today, box number 2 has arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see if the correct teas are here this time. Yes, yes, yes. These are definitely the teas that I remember ordering. And it's got my name and address at the top, so that's a plus. One interesting thing about the Republic of Tea, I've always just picked up their teas in stores before. I had never placed an order directly with them before, but apparently you can pick 2 free single samples, which I thought was interesting, or I think you could also have an option to have them just to send you something that they would choose. I did pick a couple that seemed interesting to me, so it was interesting that one of those was the same in both boxes, and then one of the 10s was the same in both orders that I placed and my tea twin out there somewhere in Tennessee had also chosen. So I think it really makes sense for how the contents of the boxes got swapped. It's very clearly a case of somebody was picking both orders at the same time, and they must have gone to pick one of the items that was the same in both orders at the same time for both boxes, and somehow the contents just got shuffled. So I totally understand how this happens, since the two items were the same in both, but these were teas that we really did want, so I am glad to be getting the correct order now. Number 1 is Ginger Peach. We love this tea. It's good year-round. It's good with a lot of different foods. It's a go-to for us. We love this. We actually keep it around in both regular and decaf because we just really like it so much for so many different situations. It's definitely one of our go-to teas. Next is the Red Velvet Chocolate. This is a newer favorite of ours, but we went through the 10 of it fairly quickly, so very glad to be getting more of this one. Next we have the Vanilla Almond. So glad to have this. This is one of our teas that we've been drinking a lot of lately. We pretty much always make it by the pot now instead of by the cup because my husband and I both love it and we drink a lot of it. It's great hot. We love making like tea lattes out of it and getting some ice in there when it's hot and we're going to be out and about or something. Very great tea, very multi-purpose. Love this. So glad that this is finally here. This is interesting because this is the vanilla, and one of the ones that was in the wrong order was also a vanilla. So again, the two orders were very similar in many ways. And last, strawberry chocolate. I love this. This is like dessert in a cup. I absolutely love this. Strawberry and chocolate, two of my favorite flavors, one of my favorite flavor combos. Love this. Haven't had this one for a while actually. We actually ran out of this, and that's when we got the Red Velvet Chocolate because they didn't have this when we picked that one up and we were trying to replace this in a store. So I think it was at Whole Foods, and the fact that they were out of this does not surprise me because it's so good, but I am glad to have it back. I like both of the chocolate flavors. I'm sure they have like a whole chocolate series, and I'm sure the whole chocolate series is really good. Both of these are, but the strawberry chocolate has a place in my heart. I just love this one. So I had ordered all 10s, but clearly they do offer the refill packs. I almost had gotten refills of a couple of these because I did still have the 10s, but I actually use these 10s for various storage things, so I wanted to have a couple more on hand. I wasn't ready to get rid of those 10s yet. It is slightly cheaper though if you get the refill packs, so that's something to keep in mind for your Republic of Tea orders. So this little tea vlog was very multi-purpose. You got to hear some of my current go-to teas at the moment, which, hey, who doesn't love a good tea review? But most importantly, I really wanted to talk about my customer service experience with Republic of Tea. I wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out about how well they handled the situation. Like I said, looking at the two different orders, it's very clear how they got shuffled around since they were fairly similar, but they handled it so well. They got my correct order out to me very quickly. They let me keep the incorrect order, which I know there's places before that they would try to get you to ship things back. They were awesome about the whole situation. I will definitely be ordering directly from them again in the future. They also have a loyalty program, which I found out placing this order, so I've got some points building up there now, and considering how much tea I go through, that's probably a good thing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like down below. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.